Walking before eating or after eating might seem like a small detail to most people, but this one timing decision quietly changes how your body handles blood sugar and fat. The same walk done at different times triggers completely different biological systems inside your body. Different hormones activate, different fuel sources burn, and your long-term health outcomes change dramatically too. Most people follow one simple belief: as long as you walk, the timing does not matter. But modern science tells a very different story, and the truth will genuinely surprise you. Your body is far smarter than you think, and it responds differently depending on when you move. Understanding this one principle can change your energy, your blood sugar, and your metabolic health forever. You do not need extreme diets, exhausting workouts, or strict discipline to see real results. You simply need to work with your biology instead of accidentally working against it every day. We are going to take a guided tour inside your body, minute by minute, system by system. You will see exactly how blood sugar rises after meals and why your pancreas works overtime. You will discover how just 10 minutes of walking at the right moment can protect you. 10 minutes at the right time protects blood vessels better than 30 minutes at the wrong time. More importantly, you will discover something deeply empowering about how your own body actually works. Your body is not your enemy. It is simply waiting for the right signal from you. When you send the right signal at the right time, your biology responds with precision. Stay until the end because everything will be broken down into simple, realistic steps for daily life.
When you step outside and begin walking before your first meal, something powerful happens immediately. Your body does not interpret this as ordinary movement. It reads it as a survival signal. There is no incoming food, yet energy is being demanded by every muscle that contracts. When these two conditions meet, the body activates a smarter strategy than simply burning quick sugar. After an overnight fast, insulin levels are low, calm, and sitting quietly in the background. The body's short-term sugar battery, called liver glycogen, is reduced but not completely empty yet. Hormones like glucagon and cortisol send a very clear message to every cell in your body. The message is simple: energy must come from storage, and that storage is your body fat. The moment you begin walking, each muscle contraction becomes a direct request for immediate fuel. Your body responds by unlocking fat cells through a powerful enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase right away. This enzyme releases fatty acids into your bloodstream so working muscles can use them for energy. Your mitochondria then burn those fatty acids to produce ATP, which is your cellular energy currency. The real value here is not just burning more fat calories during the walk itself. The deeper benefit is what your body learns and remembers from repeating this habit regularly. Repeated low-intensity walking in a low insulin state trains your muscle mitochondria to work better. Mitochondrial number increases, fat oxidation enzymes improve, and your system becomes better at switching fuels. This is called metabolic flexibility, and it is one of the most valuable things you can build. Metabolic flexibility means your body can move smoothly between burning carbohydrates and burning fat easily.
A metabolically flexible body stores less fat, depends less on constant snacking, and stays energized. Over time, these changes extend far beyond your body composition and what you see in the mirror. As your body adapts to using fat during fasted periods, energy crashes become less and less frequent. Dizziness, false hunger, and afternoon slumps begin to fade as your fuel system becomes more efficient. The brain also benefits because it receives a steadier supply of fuel through fatty acids. Mild ketone production further supports sustained mental clarity without caffeine or stimulants of any kind. Many people describe feeling lighter and more focused after morning fasted walks, not because they tried harder. It happens because their biology is finally operating the way it was originally designed to operate. This is also where the biggest misunderstanding about fasted walking comes from for most people. Fasted walking is not a test of willpower or a sign of how dedicated you are. Turning it into intense running or long, exhausting sessions destroys the very benefit you are seeking. Forcing hard movement on top of chronic stress and sleep deprivation pushes cortisol far too high. Excess cortisol signals danger to the body, and the body responds defensively by conserving fat instead. This is why the same morning walk feels transformative for one person and draining for another. The key difference is always intensity and context, not effort or duration or how early you wake. Light walking at a comfortable, conversational pace lasting 15 to 20 minutes creates the ideal environment. Cortisol rises only modestly, assisting energy mobilization without triggering a full stress response in your body. Your body senses movement without sensing danger, and that difference is everything for metabolic adaptation. Seen this way, walking before eating becomes a gentle and intelligent conversation with your own biology. You are telling your body to use stored energy wisely and to become more flexible over time. By listening to feedback like clarity and calm versus fatigue and anxiety, you learn what suits you. That awareness is not weakness, it is deep respect for the natural intelligence of your body. Now, let us shift to what happens on the other side of the meal entirely. Right after eating, the outside of your body may look completely calm and totally relaxed, but internally, a significant metabolic event is unfolding rapidly inside your bloodstream right at this moment. As carbohydrates are digested, glucose begins rushing into your bloodstream at a surprisingly high speed. Within 30 to 60 minutes, blood sugar can rise from 90 milligrams to 180 or higher. This postprandial spike is not harmless, even in people who are not diabetic or pre-diabetic at all. Every sharp rise in glucose triggers oxidative stress and low-grade inflammation throughout your system. This also causes subtle damage to the inner lining of your blood vessels every single time. These processes occur quietly, without symptoms, in people who consider themselves completely healthy and normal. The core issue is not the food itself. The core issue is always the timing. After a meal, glucose must be removed from the bloodstream quickly before damage accumulates in vessels. Under normal conditions, insulin acts like a key that allows your cells to absorb glucose safely. But when you remain seated after eating, your muscles have very little immediate energy demand at all. Muscles are the largest glucose-consuming tissue in your body, and sitting makes them respond sluggishly. As a result, the pancreas is forced to release more and more insulin to push glucose in. Blood sugar stays elevated longer, insulin levels rise higher, and metabolic stress quietly increases inside you. This is exactly where walking immediately after eating becomes one of the smartest biological decisions possible. The moment you stand up and begin walking gently after a meal, something remarkable immediately happens. Each muscle contraction activates a pathway that does not depend on insulin at all to work. Muscle contraction switches on AMPK, which is your cell's internal energy sensor and metabolic regulator. Once AMPK is activated, it rapidly moves GLUT4 transporters to the surface of your muscle cells. These transporters act like open gates, pulling glucose directly out of your bloodstream into muscle tissue. That glucose is then used immediately for energy instead of lingering dangerously in your blood. What makes this mechanism so powerful and important is the precise timing of when it happens. A study published in 2025 proved that 10 minutes of walking immediately after eating was highly effective. It controlled blood sugar more effectively than 30 minutes of walking that began just 30 minutes later. The reason is simple but absolutely decisive when it comes to your long-term metabolic health. If you wait 30 minutes, the glucose spike has already happened and is already inside your blood. At that point, walking only helps clean up the aftermath of a spike that already occurred. But when you walk immediately, you intercept glucose at the very moment it enters your circulation. You prevent the spike from forming in the first place, and that is the entire difference. The measured outcomes in this study clearly showed the biological advantage of immediate post-meal movement. Participants who walked immediately after eating showed lower peak blood glucose levels after every single meal. They also showed a reduced total glucose burden over the following 2 hours after each meal. Blood sugar dynamics were smoother, more controlled, and far less damaging to their blood vessel walls. Just as importantly, they reported feeling more comfortable, less fatigued, and mentally clearer after meals. They experienced no gastrointestinal discomfort, which directly challenges what most people have always been told. The long-held belief that movement after meals disrupts digestion is simply not supported by modern research. In reality, light walking after eating actually supports your intestinal motility and digestive function beautifully. The benefits of this small 10-minute habit extend far beyond any single meal you eat. When walking after eating becomes a daily routine, your body adapts at a much deeper metabolic level. Muscle cells become more sensitive to insulin over time, and insulin receptors begin to function more efficiently. Long-term blood sugar control, measured by HbA1c, begins to improve across weeks and months of practice. This translates into a lower risk of cardiovascular disease and reduced damage to cerebral blood vessels. It also means a measurably decreased risk of cognitive decline as you move through the decades ahead. A 10-minute walk after meals quietly protects both your heart and your brain simultaneously every day. Walking immediately after eating sends a very clear and consistent signal deep into your metabolic system. The signal says this incoming energy is needed right now, so use it immediately and efficiently. When that signal is repeated day after day, the metabolic system learns to process glucose smoothly. It relies less on high insulin output and creates fewer dangerous fluctuations in blood sugar levels. This is not an extreme intervention. It does not require strict discipline or radical lifestyle change. It simply requires the right action placed at the right moment in your daily biological rhythm. Your body is not betraying you when blood sugar rises after meals. It is waiting for direction. Sometimes the most powerful signal you can give it is also the most beautifully simple one possible. 10 minutes of gentle movement right when it matters most is that signal, and it is enough. One of the most common fears that stops people from walking after meals involves digestion concerns. People ask, will moving right after eating cause stomach pain, indigestion, bloating, or acid reflux? This belief has been repeated for decades by well-meaning people who simply had the wrong information. Yet modern research now suggests nearly the complete opposite of what most people have always assumed. When movement is done gently after a meal, your digestive system enters a natural active phase. The stomach breaks food down, the small intestine absorbs nutrients, and the intestines coordinate everything smoothly. In this context, light walking is not a disruption to digestion, it is a form of support. Gentle, rhythmic movement stimulates intestinal peristalsis, which is the wave-like muscle action that moves food forward. When peristalsis functions smoothly, food does not stagnate in one area for too long at all. This reduces bloating, gas buildup, and the heavy, sluggish sensation many people feel after every meal. These symptoms are often blamed on the food itself, when the real cause is prolonged sitting. Light post-meal walking helps gas move through the intestines more efficiently, easing pressure and real discomfort. The critical factor that determines whether movement helps or hurts your digestion is always intensity. Your body is not designed for sprinting or high-intensity exercise immediately after you finish eating. Vigorous activity temporarily diverts blood flow away from digestive organs toward working muscles, causing real discomfort. In contrast, slow to moderate walking keeps breathing relaxed and does not create this blood flow competition. It maintains steady circulation that is sufficient for both digestion and gentle muscular activities simultaneously. Recent studies confirm that participants who walk lightly after meals report no increased gastrointestinal discomfort at all. Many actually feel significantly better compared to those who remain seated on a couch after eating. The post-meal heaviness diminishes noticeably, mental clarity improves, and the familiar food coma fades away. This is not a placebo effect. It reflects improved glucose handling and smoother digestive function happening together. So if there is one rule to carry forward from this, gentle is always the key. No running, no pushing, no turning a post-meal walk into any kind of intense workout session. Think of it as a natural transition from eating to digesting, from stillness moving gently into motion. A slow walk around the house or a few quiet minutes outside is genuinely enough every time. This simplicity signals safety to the body, and when the body feels safe, digestion always works best. Although walking is one of the safest and most natural movements humans do, context still matters greatly. Not every walking strategy suits every single body, and understanding this protects you from unintended harm. The difference lies in your individual hormones, nervous system regulation, health history, and baseline stress levels. Knowing who should and should not apply each approach helps you gain benefits without causing harm. Fasted walking is a powerful metabolic tool, but it is not a default choice for everyone. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid fasted walking due to increased energy and glucose stability needs. People with a history of eating disorders should be careful, as fasted exercise can reactivate harmful patterns. Individuals with type 1 diabetes face unpredictable hypoglycemia risk and should only try this under supervision. Those with adrenal dysfunction or chronic fatigue may find that cortisol rises far too high during fasting. In these situations, fasted walking no longer signals safety to the body, it signals threat instead. The body may respond with fatigue, anxiety, or metabolic disruption rather than healthy adaptation and improvement. This does not mean movement is wrong for these people, it means timing and context always matter. In contrast, walking immediately after eating is suitable for nearly everyone across all ages and fitness levels. It is gentle, does not create energy deficits, and does not provoke strong stress responses at all. Even for complete beginners or people with metabolic risk, a 10-minute post-meal walk is safe and sustainable. The most intelligent question is not which method is universally best for all human bodies everywhere. The real question is, which method fits my body, my energy, and my life right now? Biology does not operate on rigid rules that apply equally to every single person on Earth. A strategy is only truly beneficial when your body perceives safety and feels free to adapt naturally. Think of movement as a conversation between you and your body, not a command you issue to it. If fasted walking brings clarity, lightness, and stable energy, it may be a very good fit. If it creates shakiness, exhaustion, or anxiety, pause and honor that feedback without judgment or shame. With post-meal walking, simplicity is the greatest advantage you have working in your favor always. Your body does not need force to heal. It needs to be heard and gently guided. All the science you have heard means nothing if it cannot fit into your real daily life. The good news is that this approach requires no drastic changes and no extreme discipline whatsoever. The application is almost boringly simple, and that simplicity is precisely why it works so consistently well. After each meal, all you need to do is stand up and walk for about 10 minutes. No fast pace, no sweating, no timing app, and no special shoes or equipment of any kind. Walk around your home, take a short stroll outside, or pace gently while listening to calm music. Move slowly while on a phone call, or walk around the block once at a relaxed pace.
That is genuinely enough to catch glucose as it enters your bloodstream and redirect it into muscles. Those 10 minutes are not about burning calories. They are about protecting your blood vessels from damage. They are about reducing the insulin burden on your pancreas and smoothing your blood sugar curve. As for walking before breakfast, think of it as a helpful option, not a strict daily obligation. If you slept well, feel calm, and sense that your body is genuinely ready, then go walk. A gentle 15 to 20-minute walk can help initiate fat oxidation and build metabolic flexibility over time. But if you wake up exhausted, stressed, or anxious, please skip the fasted walk without any guilt. There is absolutely no reward for pushing through real discomfort. Your biology does not respond to force. It responds to appropriate signals delivered at appropriate times in an appropriate physiological context every time. The core philosophy here is beautifully simple. Cooperate with your body rather than fighting against it constantly. You do not need to prove that you are stronger or more disciplined than your own biology. You only need to place your body in the right context so it does its job naturally. After eating, give your body a chance to use the incoming energy immediately and efficiently every time. Before eating, move only when your body feels safe, rested, and genuinely ready to respond well. Sustainability does not come from willpower. It comes from practices that do not drain or exhaust you. Remember this simple truth. Walking is not just a workout, it is a powerful biological signal. And sometimes the smallest signal, 10 minutes after a meal, creates the biggest shift in daily function.
Now, many people ask why 30 minutes is often recommended when 10 or 15 might feel enough. The answer lies in metabolic timing and biological thresholds, not in arbitrary numbers someone invented randomly. Your body does not switch to burning fat immediately when you start walking. It needs transition time. Much like an engine warming up before reaching a stable cruising speed, your metabolism follows a similar pattern. During the first 10 to 15 minutes, most energy still comes from glucose, your most readily available fuel. Insulin is still exerting its influence, especially when your glycogen stores are still reasonably well filled. This early phase is excellent for circulation and heart health, but not yet the fat-burning zone. Around 20 to 30 minutes, a critical and deeply important metabolic shift begins to occur inside you. Insulin levels drop and stabilize at a low level, allowing other hormones to become more dominant. Counter-regulatory hormones like glucagon and adrenaline signal the body to draw energy from stored fat reserves. Oxygen consumption reaches a steady state at this point, which is crucial for fat oxidation to work. Fat burning is an oxygen-dependent process, and consistent oxygen delivery allows mitochondria to work efficiently. With steady oxygen delivery, mitochondria can now burn fatty acids efficiently and sustainably for long periods. This is the point where your body fully enters a stable and productive fat-burning rhythm. Lipolysis intensifies at this stage, meaning stored fat is being released and burned at a meaningful rate. Inside fat cells, triglycerides break down into free fatty acids and glycerol through key enzymatic processes. These fatty acids enter the bloodstream and travel to active muscles and tissues to be used as fuel. An important clarification: fat cells do not disappear when you lose fat from your body. Instead, fat cells shrink as their stored energy is gradually and consistently depleted over time. This explains why consistent daily walking leads to a leaner and firmer body without drastic weight loss. The change is real, it is cellular, and it happens quietly beneath the surface every single day. Beyond fat loss, daily 30-minute walks train your body to enter fat oxidation mode more quickly. After several weeks of consistency, the metabolic shift may occur earlier than 30 minutes as you adapt. This earlier shift is a clear and measurable sign of improved metabolic flexibility building inside your body. So 30 minutes is not a magic number invented by fitness experts to fill up your schedule. It is a biologically meaningful threshold where your body moves from burning easy fuel to stored fat. 10 minutes after meals is powerful for blood sugar control and protecting your blood vessels daily. But if your goal is long-term fat reduction and mitochondrial health, 30 minutes matters very deeply. 30 minutes of daily walking is one of the safest and most effective foundations you can build. When you walk for about 30 minutes, the most profound changes do not happen only at your waistline. They occur deeper in your brain, your nervous system, your hormones, and your immune function too. This is why many people feel calmer, clearer, and more emotionally stable even before visible fat loss appears. First, your brain responds quickly to rhythmic walking movement in ways that truly matter for your well-being.
After roughly 30 minutes, the brain increases production of serotonin and dopamine in meaningful and measurable amounts. These neurotransmitters support feelings of well-being, motivation, emotional balance, and daily resilience in real ways. This is not a sharp stimulant effect like caffeine gives you. It is a smooth mental clarity. This smooth clarity reduces irritability, improves stress recovery, and makes difficult moments feel more manageable overall. For many people, an evening or post-dinner walk becomes the most natural form of daily stress relief. At the same time, walking powerfully boosts something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor in your brain. BDNF is often described as fertilizer for your brain because it literally helps new neuroconnections form. It protects neurons from age-related decline and enhances your memory and learning capacity significantly over time. Higher BDNF levels are strongly associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline as you age. This is a benefit that no fat loss supplement, no protein powder, and no pill can replicate. On a deeper biological level, daily walking helps reduce chronic inflammation throughout your entire system quietly. Chronic inflammation is a root contributor to cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, and accelerated biological aging. Gentle, sustained movement lowers inflammatory cytokines and improves the function of your blood vessel lining significantly. You may not feel inflammation decreasing, but your body reflects it through steadier energy and less stiffness. Another profound benefit of consistent walking is the improvement it creates in your insulin sensitivity over time.
After a walk, muscles remain more sensitive to insulin for several hours, handling subsequent meals more efficiently. Each walk smooths your metabolic response for the rest of your day in measurable and meaningful ways. Finally, walking helps stabilize the hunger and satiety hormones called ghrelin and leptin in your system. When these hormones normalize, your appetite becomes more accurate and far less impulsive and reactive overall. You eat because you are truly hungry, not because of stress, boredom, or fatigue driving false cravings. This is why many people find their eating habits naturally improve after weeks of consistent daily walking. In short, 30 minutes of walking does far more than simply burn stored fat from your body. It calms the brain, supports cognitive longevity, reduces inflammation, and improves your entire metabolic control system. It restores hormonal balance and helps the body return to its natural state of intelligent function. This is a gentle yet profoundly powerful biological intervention that asks very little but gives a great deal. Walking is not just a simple physical activity that burns a few extra calories each day. It is one of the most powerful biological signals a human body can receive from daily life. And the timing of that signal determines how your entire body responds in the hours that follow. Walking before eating acts as metabolic training that teaches your body to burn fat more efficiently. It improves metabolic flexibility and strengthens mitochondrial efficiency in ways that compound over weeks and months. This approach works best when your body is rested, calm, and genuinely ready to adapt and respond. In contrast, walking immediately after eating is a form of quiet and
When your
powerful
pancreatic
protection for
levels
your
are
system.
low,
It
simple
blunts blood
actions
sugar
like
spikes,
eating well
reduces
and walking
low-grade
regularly
inflammation,
are
and
crucial for
safeguards your blood
maintaining
vessels
health.
from silent damage. It also relieves your pancreas from the excessive insulin demand that prolonged sitting after meals creates daily. Just a few minutes of movement at the right moment translates into long-term cardiovascular and brain health. Both approaches are valid, both are supported by evidence, and both serve genuinely different biological purposes. There is no single best method for every human body on the planet at every stage of life. What matters most is choosing the right timing for your body and your life right now today. That timing may be the most underestimated and overlooked lever in all of human metabolic health. If there is one takeaway to carry with you long after this ends, let it be this. Do not ask only whether you walk enough. Begin asking whether you walk at the right time. When you begin working with your biology instead of accidentally working against it, everything changes naturally. Sustainable change does not follow from extreme effort or harsh discipline forced onto an unwilling body. It follows quietly and steadily from understanding, from timing, and the respect you show your own body. Your body has always been on your side. Give it the right signal, and it will respond.